Lately, I've been having a lot of people ask how they can collect email addresses while they are working on launching their blog. So I love that everyone is starting to understand how important having an email list is for a blog and business. So today I'm going to go over how you can create a landing page to collect email addresses without any additional charges on WordPress. So what you see on the screen right now is the landing page we're going to create. And this is using just your regular WordPress account, MailChimp, and a free plugin. So to get started, you have to install the plugin we're going to use. So to do that, go into your WordPress dashboard and go to Plugins, Add New. Go ahead and search for Coming Soon, and then install the Coming Soon page in Maintenance Mode plugin. Once you have the plugin installed and activated, you'll be brought right to the page you need to be on. So here is where you get everything set up. To start, you're going to want to work on entering all the content you want on the page. So to show you the example, that's going to include the logo, this text, and then the sign-up form. So up here in this logo area is where you can upload your logo. This is just like adding a picture anywhere else in WordPress. So you can click the Media Image Library button and either upload your logo or click on one you already have. And then after you have it uploaded, you can click Insert into Post. Here is where you can enter your headline. So in our example, I just have Coming Soon. You can make this whatever you want it to be. And then in this message section, this is where the call to action and all of your extra information goes, as well as your sign-up form. So I'm going to start just by going into this text editor and writing in my call to action. I'm just going to copy and paste. And here you can introduce what your blog is going to be all about. You can talk about what you're going to offer, or offer some kind of opt-in incentive, or explain the benefits of why they should sign up in the first place. Now we want to get our sign-up form in there. So I'm going to hit enter a couple times and then go over to MailChimp. I am in my old MailChimp account here that I used to use, and I am going to create a sign-up form for the main list. So you can click the drop-down and go to Sign-up Forms. After that, click Select for the Embed Forms. And then we have a couple settings to change here. First, we're going to unselect Include Form Title and also Show Required Field Indicators. You also want to set this form width to a maximum size that works for you. I like how it looks when I use 500. And then we're just going to start with this. So copy and paste the embed code. And then one extra thing we want to do is delete this extra line that's between the label, which will just say the first name or email address, and the actual input field. So just put your cursor right below this bracket and hit backspace 2 times. Right here where it says first name is how you can find it. And then the same thing for the email address label. Go right underneath that line and click backspace twice. And we're just doing this because otherwise there would be some extra space right here and it doesn't look great. So I like to go ahead and delete that. And then click Save All Changes. Now we want to move on to the Design tab. And here is where we're really going to control how the page looks. So that will include customizing some CSS to control how the sign-up form looks, as well as setting the background image that you use. So to set your background image, go to the background image setting on the Design tab and click Media Image Library, and then go ahead and upload your image. The one I'm using is from the Styled Stock Society from Eldruin. I'll go ahead and link to that below this video. Once it uploads, you can say Insert, And then we're going to scroll down and add some custom CSS to make everything look nicer. And that's going to be in this section right here. So below this video in the post, I will have this exact CSS for you to copy and paste, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it quickly. So if you want to skip the explanation, you can skip ahead a couple minutes to the portion where I'm describing what to do with this. So in this top section here, I am setting all of the text to black and I'm making it my font. So you're going to want to customize this to be the font you use for your brand and not my own. Down here, I'm making the headline, so the spot where it says coming soon, I'm making that bold and I'm adding some extra space between my logo and that font. So if this ends up being too much space for how your logo looks or the layout you want, you can go ahead and decrease this 90 or remove this line completely to fix that. This section right here is customizing the overall sign-up form, so that's this section. I'm setting the background to none because originally it's white. If you do need some sort of background to let your sign-up form stick out more from your image, you can delete this line and you'll have a white background that displays behind your sign-up form. These two lines are centering the sign-up form, and this line is adding a little extra space between the sign-up form and this text. Again, that's something you can change the number if you need the space to be larger or smaller, or you can delete this line completely. Right here, I'm customizing these two text fields. So by default, they have rounded corners, and I don't like that, so I set the border radius to 0 to give them square corners. And then I also gave it a thicker black border. By default, it's a thin kind of grayish border, and I like it to stick out a bit more. So again, if you want it thinner, you can change the 2 to a 1. And if you want it a lighter color, or any color you want, you can edit this color code right here. This section is customizing the sign up button. So here I changed the background color to match my image. So to pink, you're going to want to change this to one of your own brand colors. I got rid of the border that was on the button because I wanted it to just be a solid color. I gave it square corners. MailChimp's default CSS limits the height, and I didn't want that, so I set the height to auto. And that way I was able to add this padding, which gave a little more space between the words and the edge of the button. So this space right here is what that was increasing. You can change this 3 to be larger or smaller if you want to control how much space is above and below the text. This line changes the font to uppercase, and this last line makes the button take up the same amount of space as these two text fields. So if you don't want it to take up the whole space, if you want it to be smaller, like is shown right here, you can go ahead and delete this line completely. And then the last thing I did was to make these labels all uppercase text. So once you're ready to customize the look of your landing page, you can copy all of this and go back to your coming soon page settings in the custom CSS section and paste it, and then click Save All Changes. After the page reloads, you can go ahead and preview your landing page. And that's all there is to it. Now you have a nice landing page that can collect email addresses while you're getting ready to launch your site.